Welcome to English Literature for Everyone. I'm your educator Arushi, and today we will start with the poem D'Souza, Prabhu and Transcend Self, You Say by Eunice D'Souza. So these are two different poems, and I've decided to cover this in one video. Eunice D'Souza was a Catholic writer and critic whose poems and works often spoke against patriarchy. Her poetry style is of confessional genre that critiques prejudices and stereotypes against women. She uses satire and sharp words to create an emotional impact in the mind of her readers. So, first, let's discuss her poem D'Souza Prabhu, and then we will move to the next poem. Poem D'Souza Prabhu was published in her poetry collection Fix in 1979. In the poem, author talks about male privilege and its presence in different religions. In this poem, she talks about how society or patriarchal society treats a girl and boy differently. Instead of caring after a child, parents often overlook the need of their daughters to support their son. She also examines the dehumanizing aspect of marriage market where women are treated as commodity. So let's start with these lines. No, I am not going to dwell deep down and discover I am really D'Souza Prabhu. Here she says that she does not want to go deep into her mixed identity. Referencing to her Portuguese lineage, she further states that she is D'Souza Prabhu. Now, the word Prabhu here depicts her Indian identity. Okay, and the title D'Souza depicts her Portuguese identity. One more thing, it is important for us to ask ourselves why poet is associating herself with a male identity. Why is she saying that she is D'Souza Prabhu? So, the answer to this question is in the last stanza, which we will eventually read. Even if Prabhu was no fool and got the best of both worlds, Catholic Brahmin, I can hear his fat chuckle still. This guy, who poet pretends to be, is no fool. Poet says that due to his gender and religion, he got the best of both worlds. As a Catholic Brahmin, he has a religious privilege, and as a man, he has male privilege in patriarchal society. No matter that my name is Greek, my surname is Portuguese, my language is alien, there are ways of belonging. I belong with the lame ducks. Now she comes to her own identity, stating that while her name Eunice is of Greek origin and surname D'Souza is of Portuguese, she says that her language, the tongue that she speaks in, is alien. Now, it indicates that her opinions or her thoughts are often unheard or overlooked. For example, if you don't know how to speak Dutch and I start talking to you in that language, you will not understand me and eventually tune me out. Here, her voice is similarly ignored and suppressed like an alien language. Also, people usually find their crowd or community through shared interest. However, poet is unable to find her people who can truly understand her, right? Since she cannot express her thoughts, her fears, her ideas without sounding absurd, she states that she belongs to lame ducks. In this poem, you will often see a theme of self-depreciation where poet will consider herself as lame or a fool. As we move on to the final lines of this poem, we will understand why she is repeating such words for herself. I heard it said, my parents wanted a boy. I have done my best to qualify. I hid the bloodstains on my clothes and let my breast sag. Words, the weapon to crucify. Now, in these lines, we finally understand why she earlier called herself D'Souza Prabhu. Since her parents wanted a male child, they would often look at her with contempt and treat her poorly. Now, as a kid and as an adult too, she has repetitively tried to act like a boy. I hid the bloodstains on my clothes and let my breast sag. In order to act like a boy, to become a child that her parents want, she abandoned or rather hid the parts of herself that reminded her of her femininity. She acted tough and strong to become D'Souza Prabhu, a boy that her parent wanted. In the final lines, words the weapon to crucify. She states that the insults that she often uses for herself in the poem are words that her parents spoke to her, which have crucified her spirit. This poem is presented from a perspective of an unwanted daughter who struggles with the lack of acceptance and often feels the sense of resentment from her parents. Now, coming ahead, we have to understand some common themes of this poem. The first one is male privilege. It is evidently discussed in the poem as poet tries to become D'Souza Prabhu. It can also be seen as how unfairly poet is being treated at her home. Second theme is of gendered expectations when people often associate common human traits to each gender. For example, cooking, cleaning is often associated with women while earning money is associated with men. Now, such expectations often lead to unfair treatment of children from a very young age. So overall, we see a woman who is stuck in a patriarchal society, who is not able to appreciate herself and often tries to fit into social obligation, right? She tries to hide her blood stain and her confidence through each and every comment diminishes. With this, we end this poem and we will move on to the next one. Transcend self, you say. So, this poem was published in the poetry collection Women in Dutch Painting. And this particular poetry collection deals with the suppressed voice of women in the works of art. This poem continues with the theme and talks about the female literary canon. She encourages women in this particular poem to engage in artistic activities to express themselves. Okay, now let's start with the poem. Transcend self, you say, connect with myth, history, the world crumbling around you. Here, the poet addresses women and says that they should go beyond their individual limits to connect with the myth and the history of the world around them. By expanding their awareness, they will gain spiritual enlightenment. Okay. Men can and do. Beggars survive. Destitute survive. There is something in this culture. Must ask beggars how they do it. Smart ass poetess. She further states that men have already participated in this myth and history. And she further elaborates that people who have no money or resources to participate in their history or their myth or their culture do it through their songs or stories. Essentially, she's urging women to take part in history through artistic means. She further says that if a woman is too afraid to speak up, they should ask beggars' advice. It is meant to be a satirical line where she makes us aware of our own fears, our irrational fears. Friends, the histories I know aren't fit to print. Remember Padma, widowed at 17, forbidden to see the sun for a year, allowed to crab only at night when the pure were out of the way. So previously, poetess said that women should participate in the myth by sharing their own stories through artistic means, right? However, in the next line, in these lines, she says that some narratives are not pleasant to hear. She takes example of 17-year-old Padma, who is a widow. Now, she could not step outside her house during day. Since the story is set in rural areas, she had to go out to defecate, yet due to the strict patriarchal restrictions on a widow, she could not go out during the daytime. She could only go out during the nighttime. Through this example, poet essentially says that while women, through this example, poetess essentially says that while men would write about society and culture or changing political or social climate, women's writing could be more intimate, crude, and harsh. Not because they do not know how to write about politics or society, but because they are heavily suppressed and they are forced to make themselves small. The perfect book is One Long Cry in the Dark. A novelist said that, who spent his life wondering why, when Nazi came, his mother pushed him into a closet and let his sisters go to Auschwitz. So, in this final stanza, poet talks about a man who said that a good novel is something that would make you cry in the dark. Now, this sentiment comes from a man's perspective. If you're a woman, you don't need a novel or a book to cry. Your life experience are enough to make you weak and make you break. This man who said this previous line would not understand why her mother only hid him, not his sisters, from Nazi. So, poetess here says that men often lack certain perspectives in life that women are aware of from a very young age. Through this example, she says that a mother who is supposed to be all loving is cruel to her own daughters despite being a woman. Like the previous poem that we have discussed, this poem also ends in a very cynical note where D'Souza highlights inequality of sexes and how it affects women. Now, coming on to the themes. At first, the author talks about culture and literary canon for women. She encourages them to be part of myth and history by vocalizing their own stories. Okay, this entire poetry collection, Women in Dutch Painting, revolves around this particular theme. Secondly, she talks about the suppression of women through examples of Padma and the mother of the novelist. She talks about a widow who can only go outside at night and a mother who was so cruel to her daughters that she sacrificed them to Nazis. With this, we come to an end. If you like this explanation, please comment down below. For more such content, subscribe to my channel. Thank you.